Hey everyone, it's Pam, and this is my monthly update video telling you everything that I was up to in the month of April. I'm trying something a little new. It's still light outside, so I'm using natural light for what may be the first time ever in a video. In fact, you can probably see my umbrella lights behind me. I haven't set them up. So starting out with podcasts as normal, there were 3 episodes of Media Mavens that came out in April. I believe I told you about one of them in the last update. It was our 2-year anniversary, and we talked all about Annihilation, both the movie and the book. Did some comparison, talking about what we liked, what we didn't like. Our friend Zufi came on for that, and it was a lot of fun. The second episode of April was just Riley and myself, and we talked about what we've been up to, as well as talked a lot about Overwatch, which is sort of the normal thing, and answered a bunch of listener questions about consoles. Our favorite consoles, what we think of backwards compatibility, what we want to see in a future generation of consoles. And then the last episode, which just came out yesterday, 2 days ago, this week sometime, we had Samantha Blackman, who is the editor-in-chief of the new Not Your Mama's Gamer Feminist Game Studies Journal on, and we talked all about games academia and feminist game studies, and it was a lot of fun. Check those episodes out if any of those things appeal to you. A couple other updates. I forgot to mention last month that I got new channel artwork, which I'm sure you've noticed by now. Another YouTuber by the name The Magdalene Rose made me the artwork, so she made portraits of myself and Lily. She made the banner, and she made the intro for my videos, so I'm very happy with that. I paid with that from money from my Patreon, so I have to thank all of my patrons for making that possible. I'd been looking to get some new artwork for a while. And lastly, on a much sadder note, Momo, who you've probably seen in my videos sometimes, she passed away at the beginning of April, so that was very sad. She lived a good long life. She was 19 years old, and she, in that last year, she really lived. Like, she got very social and very outgoing. She sort of had her run of the apartment and did whatever the hell she wanted, including jumping up on the counter, stealing our dinners, things like that. So I'm very sad. I miss her a lot, but I'm happy that she had such a good life, and that her last couple years here seemed to be good for her. So, I miss you, Momo. So now on to pickups. I got a few things this month. What should I start with? I went to a game swap in Oshawa? I think it was Oshawa. I got a couple things there. The first is The Art of Alice Madness Returns. I really like this book. Dark Horse does some good sort of art books. I especially like, if I can find it in here, it's got the drawings of all of Alice's outfits, which are sort of a favorite part of the game for me. So it's got like all the designs, originally creating Alice, and yeah, I enjoy it. I think I might start buying a few more art books and things, just since I've kind of got most of the games that I want. And the other thing I bought at that show was The Lord of the Rings on PC. Honestly, this is a purchase that I almost immediately regretted. I have a list of the games that I want for my collection, and they're all games that I had as a kid. And this is not one that I had or played as a kid. The problem is, when you go to these shows, the pickings for PC games are real slim. So sometimes if I see anything that looks interesting, that looks like something I might have played when I was a kid, I'll just grab it for the sake of not walking away empty-handed, even though I don't particularly want this in my collection since I didn't play it. But I will show you what's inside. So it's got the CD here. It has... These are parts of my favorite things, just like the ads for all the other games coming out. And it has a manual in it, a fairly sizely? That's not a word. A good size manual. And it has a map, which is always awesome when things come with maps. As I said, I didn't play this game, but if you look on the back, the animation, it's FMV, really reminded me of the old Hobbit cartoon, so I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, not my best purchase, really. A couple other things I got. I picked up Return to Arkham on Xbox One. It's the remaster of Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I played a little bit of Arkham Asylum. Actually, I played a few hours of Arkham Asylum after I bought this. Just it's my sort of favorite of the series, so just going back through that. I also, one of our friends from the Cartridge Club from out of town, Round 2 Gaming, he was in town and he stayed with Will and I, and so one day us, along with Miles and Catherine from Flock Talk and Flock of Nerds, took him out to some of our favorite gaming stores around the city. And again, I'm not looking for too much, so the only thing I came away with is Civilization Revolution, which is a game I used to have, but didn't have any longer. It's pretty good. I don't know. It's not great, but I never expected to see a Civilization game on console, and I thought they did a pretty good job of bringing it to console, making it something that you can, handle with a controller rather than a mouse. And they also did a really good job of making the campaigns very short compared to your usual Civilization game. And I think this is backwards compatible too, so that's always a plus. And the last thing I got is the Invisible Hours for PSVR. I don't think I've mentioned that we have a VR again. So this is one of the few VR games that really interested me. It's sort of a murder mystery, and I'll talk a little bit more about this in the What I've Been Playing section. So as far as what I've been playing, I've played a number of smaller indie games lately. The first thing I played was the Turing Test, which is something I actually started quite a few months ago, and I sort of lost interest. I went back to it just because I was probably already halfway done the game, and I wanted to see how it turned out. And it takes place on a space station. You're going to evacuate people from a moon of Jupiter, I think it is, and you wake up and the computer tells you that your crewmates are in danger, so you have to go through all these sort of puzzle rooms to get to them. And it was okay. It was just, there's so many narrated first-person puzzle platformers out there. None of them are as good as Portal, and this one was just like, it's fine. It's nothing too special, nothing that was really unique or made it stand out, but it was a competent enough puzzle game. The next game I played was Shovel Knight, which is a game I've played before. It's a game I talked about fairly recently in my Top 100 series. I noticed it for sale, I think, on Xbox, and it was the complete edition with the Spectre Knight and Plague Knight campaigns, so I thought, hey, I'll buy this again on another console, and I played through the main campaign again, and it really just solidified how great of a platformer it is. I haven't yet gotten to the Plague or Spectre Knight campaigns, but I'll probably play through those sometime soon. The game of the month over at RF Generation in April was Conker's Bad Fur Day. I thought I would give that game a go. It's originally a Nintendo 64 game. I have no desire to ever touch a Nintendo 64 controller again, so I played the Rare Replay edition, and it was terrible. It basically just ported the N64 version. It didn't fix the controls. It didn't give you options to change the controls. The problem is that the X-axis is inverted for some reason, because I think that's how things were like in N64 land. It now, after so many years of that not being the default, it's very, very difficult to get used to. I also found the Rare Replay collection had quite a bit of lag in it, so I got frustrated very quickly and stopped I think I was still in the intro zone. Then Conker Live and Reloaded was added to Xbox One backwards compatibility, so I thought, okay, I'll give the game another shot, I'll try it again. And I will say that the looks and the sounds and the controls are 100 times better on this version than they were on Rare Replay. They fixed the controls. It looks very good, but I still don't like the game at all. Conker's kind of annoying. He sounds like he has marbles in his mouth. His accent seems to change every single time he talks. I thought the humor was fairly juvenile and not funny. I thought that the cutscenes were abundant and dull. There wasn't that much time to play the game. It seemed like it was just cutscene after cutscene after cutscene. But then even when I got to play, it wasn't really my thing. There are some good 3D platformers out there. I don't really think Conker's is one of them. I also finished up a game called Typoman, which I got for a couple bucks on the Xbox store, and it's a puzzle platformer, but it was very unique. It uses word jumbles in order to solve puzzles, so you play this little guy and he's made up of letters, and sort of things around him are made up of letters, and one of the first things that happens is you'll find a platform, but the platform's stuck, and you need to get up to the top of a hill or a cliff. So one thing you can do is you can use the word jumble and you spell the word up and push it over the platform and it'll raise the platform. So the puzzle solving is like that. And there's often multiple words you can use in order to solve whatever problem you're coming at. It also has some cute things with if you spell a word, like if you spell spider, like a little spider will crawl across the screen and cute things like that. So I really liked it. At times it was challenging. At times I felt the puzzles didn't make the most sense in the world, but it was just very unique. So I was happy to try something that I'd really never seen before. There was also a Cartridge Club meetup with more people while Dean was here, and one game I played that I hadn't played before was Final Fight. I went through the entire Final Fight game with Canadian Retro, who is another YouTuber and Cartridge Club member. It was good. Like, it's a fun arcade game. It really seems like Streets of Rage completely knocked that game off, although I do think they did it better. But yeah, it's nice because we went to this place called Tilt, which is a bar in Toronto, and they have all their machines on free play. So I can say that I won credit, cleared it, although I guess I didn't really put any credits in. But anyway, I beat it. I died a lot. I also got to play one of the games that I was most looking forward to from this year, which is Frostpunk, which is made from the makers of This War of Mine, which is a game I really liked. It's a sort of strategy survival game where the Earth is experiencing mass cooling, and you take a group of survivors out to try to find a home and sort of survive and wait out the storm. So I think I actually might do a review of this, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I enjoyed it. I sort of sat and played it for a number of hours last week. There's 3 scenarios in it. The first is a general survive and keep people relatively happy scenario. The second I thought was a really cool idea. You have these arcs of seeds. Scientists have collected seeds so that they can replant them once the cold goes away, and you have to sort of keep them warm through this storm as long as it lasts. And then the third one is all about gathering other survivors and how many people you can take into your city and still sustain it and keep people safe and have enough resources. So I haven't finished the third one yet, but overall I enjoyed it, although it didn't give me quite as much of a sort of ethical gut punch that This War of Mine did. But I still thought it was really good and really fun to play, and I'll probably be playing more of it. And lastly, I'll just talk about the Invisible Hours for a little bit. This was made by Tequila Works, who made The Sexy Brutale. That was my favorite game from last year. So this is sort of like an interactive play, almost. It takes place in a big mansion. There's a bunch of characters from history. The whole inciting incident is that Nikola Tesla is murdered, and you're trying to find out who murdered him. So as the game goes, it sort of takes place in real time, and you can wander around the house and you can pick which guest you want to follow around, so you can see what they're doing, hear their conversations, or if you want to, you can just wander alone, find items and notes and things. And you can also rewind time, so if you've missed anything or if you want to see anything else, you can do that. So it was very cool. I think it used the VR well, although I still don't particularly like wearing the VR headset. It's very bulky. It kind of hurts my eyes and my head after a little bit. But I did like the invisible hours. I believe if you were to just play through once without using any of the time manipulation, it would take maybe an hour, but if you want to see everything, then it's probably like 5 or 6 hours. And I thought it was very well done. I thought they set things up really well. I had a theory sort of right at the beginning of chapter 2, which ended up being the correct theory, so I felt very smart that I was able to solve the mystery. Yeah, so it's really good, and I think they just put it out for non-VR. Actually, they did, because I finished up the game and got my last achievements just in the regular mode without using VR. So yeah, if you like sort of interesting experiences in VR more than like really gamey things, I would definitely recommend this. And also if you like a good mystery. So that's it. That's what I was up to in April. Let me know in the comments if there's anything particularly exciting that you've been playing, or any great pickups that you got, or if you have any questions for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Max was looking through the window trying to get in. Poor kitty. Frostpunk. This is by 11-Bit Studios, the makers of This War of Mine. Hi. I can see my reflection in this camera lens, and it's really weird and distracting.